Good afternoon. As Mpumelelo said, I think I'm the luckiest because most people have covered a lot. For me, it's just to show you numbers and pictures, probably, where I've been just as a form of M&E. So you see that we do visit those farmers. No, thank you. Okay. That would be the scope of my presentation. I will just try and share with you the transformation strategy. And one might say it's a moving post, but I think we are adjusting as we move. As Sandy had mentioned, it's a complex environment that we are in, but then one try and have, we said we just need to have a direction of where we want to get, and we will continue and make progress as we go. The second part will be I will share on transformation income and expenditure for the financial year 2024, and also comes the confusion of the production, but for now we're just reporting on the money spent in that financial year, and we can get into details if when was it planted and when was it harvested. Then I will also cover those pillars of which, as Andrew has said, we are guided by NAMC on those pillars, and give a bit of closing remarks, probably also inviting stakeholders as we always want to. The SACTA transformation strategy, as SACTA we aim to contribute to more equitable and resilient agriculture sector. We have adopted a holistic strategy designed to be both proactive and responsive, reflecting our dedication to achieving impactful outcomes. And with the holistic, I think it's in terms of how we allow crop rotation, but also it's issues of we invite every stakeholder so we are able to assist a farmer or look at the farm as a whole. And with that, it's issues of training and service providers that work with us. We also expect them to be able to provide or secure a market for those farmers, but also try and train or assist or mentor those farmers that they are working with. At the core of our strategy is built on understanding that transformation is not a one-time event, but a continuous journey. And I think we're all agreeing that we probably need to understand that we just need to measure progress. We know where we're going, and it might not be possible for us if we want to say we'll only measure ourselves when a farmer is commercialized, but we need to appreciate those progress that we are seeing throughout. Are they improving those yields? Are they improving in terms of financial management? Are their production practices improving? And that, I think, also it's probably comforting to service providers that we are not only looking at the money coming back, but we are also looking at what we are doing with the farmer. The approach aims to promote sustainable development and ensure the prosperity of all stakeholders. We view our service providers and whoever that we work with as a stakeholder for us. It's not necessarily a money exchange or a transactional relationship, but it's more of the relationship that we are forming for us to be able to assist the farmer. As Andrew has said, the 20% of those collected levies are meant for transformation. And in those transformation activities or initiatives that SACTA, of which I will go into details and share what we do in each pillar or in each activity, we are guided by an NAMC transformation guidelines, which prescribe that, and most of these, they are not exactly saying you should use exact that amount, but it's just a guideline to say at least a certain percentage must go. And their guideline advised that at least 60% of the collected levies are out of that 20% pool that you have, at least 60% must go into enterprise development, 18% into training and skill development, 17% can go into management controls, 5%, at least 5% of that should be for socio-economic development. We are constantly learning as SACTA, and I think also the platform provides us a learning opportunities to see how things, And in those, as we learn from other service providers, we are able to go and share with the other service providers how things are moving on the other side. We really appreciate the complexity of the space that we are in, and we are treating it as a complex space, but definitely also having a direction of where we want to go. I wanted to just share on the transformation income over the years from 2019 to 2024. But mainly, maybe one wants to focus on the total amount that we have spent since 2019. It's about 181 million that we have spent. And at least 60% of that money is revolving in the economy. The reason for that is because SACTA is not providing grants, but we are providing soft loans. And our expectation is that even when a farmer has made a loss, but the farmer will try and recover, and we have a repayment plan so a farmer can be able to repay. But that's case by case on how that could be. But our assumption is that 60% of 180 million is circulating in the economy, improving lives in rural areas mainly, where these farmers are located. Maybe to be specific on the financial year 2024, we spent a total of 61 million, and most of it, of which was around 52 million, went into enterprise development. And with our enterprise development was both on loans, input production loans, but also on mechanization that we provided for farmers. We also did in terms of skill and training, we provided for bursaries, but we also did a bit of what we are piloting on in terms of business coaching for farmers that we are servicing. Our projection is that by next year we'll have around 48 million, of which is the financial year 2025 that we'll be able to spend in transformation. Hopefully, if the crop estimate changes and we see an increase in the crop that we collect on, this money will be more. And for transformation, then that becomes exciting for us because we can be able to be impactful in the space that we work in. I just wanted to share, as I had said, with NAMC transformation guideline, it's just those guidelines, as the name says. For SACTA, our percentage, about 86% of the money that we spend in the financial year 2024, 86% of that was for enterprise development. And in terms of enterprise development, we have seen impact on the ground. We have already started seeing a lot of farmers making profits, and soya has been playing a big role in that, whether in terms of when they crop rotate and the yields for maize are improving over those years, but also we are seeing farmers being able to reinvest in their own businesses. Maybe now to get into details on what we go about in terms of enterprise development and what we really did in those. Just a brief background on what enterprise development means for SACTA. We are achieving this enterprise development through a provision of 3-year input finance and 5-year mechanization finance. Both of these loans are soft loans. They are non-interest-bearing loans, and they are advanced to a farmer, but we advance them through a service provider who then works with those farmers. And their expectation from our side on what a service provider should be and how a service provider should work. But like I said, then some of the things that we have introduced into the enterprise development is the business coaching and mentorship that we do. As much as we expect service provider to always be doing mentorship, but we are also willing to be funding when it's a structured or a planned mentorship or a business coaching that the service provider can provide. Activities, as I've said, we provide them through service providers. Maybe a bit of context, service providers to us are these stakeholders that help us with technical know-how or also be able to identify farmers, find a market for those farmers, and be able to train them as well in the process. As SACTA, we focus on the quality of a farmer or the impact we have with each farmer. We are not more on the numbers. We we better have 10 or less farmers, but the impact and the change of which is a true transformation of a farmer than just to be throwing money around. If we can see a true transformation, we are happy with that. The number is not much of an importance on our side. Yes, we know it is important to reach a wider audience, but it's not necessarily what we focus on. What we focus on is the impact that we have on the farmer or where we are involved. All this is informed by farming needs and the fact that we collect levies from multiple crops. That's why we also had made a request, or our approach is that we allow crop rotation from a farmer. A farmer can be able to crop rotate with any of the crops that we collect levies on, but even if it's not a crop that we collect levy on. I think the approach here is an understanding that the farmer can never be successful with one crop. And also, depending on each season and each need, a farmer then will adjust. Together, they will be communicating with the service provider, but then they will be able to plant what is necessary and what will be profitable for that season. We also do monitoring and evaluation. I think also the platform that we are establishing currently become part of our monitoring and evaluation, but we are also doing farm visits. The farm visits, we also have regular meetings with service providers, and we require frequent reporting from them. These are the numbers on enterprise development. Soya contributed about 47% in the total land that we supported with each farmer. We had planted money which SACTA spent was about 7.2 hectares that we supported. In total, we had 119 farmers, and some of, like Sandy had raised, some of those discretion in terms of why less farmers. I think it's also because when we count number of farmers based on the location where they are, we have farmers in Taung area where we treat them as individual farmers, but because they farm in the same irrigation scheme, you almost, when you get your GPS, it's like it's a one farmer. But for us as SACTA, we treat them as individuals because that's how we also make sure that their loans, it's not a group loan, it's an individual farmer loan, so they can be able to also break out of the group and grow on their own. In terms of demographics, we're still struggling, but we are dedicated in trying and change the status quo. There's more men than females, but what is exciting is to see about 18% of these farmers that we support are young people, and we're still trying and encouraging service providers to make sure that more young people are coming. But also we're seeing a good trend where succession plans by older farmers are intentional, and we are seeing farmers bringing in their young kids in order for them to be farming. In terms of skill and training, as SACTA, as it has been mentioned, we do postgraduate and focusing on technology and breeding, but we also we have expanded currently to try and fund TVET in-service training. And this was because there was a need where students from agricultural colleges are struggling to get an in-service training where they could be placed. And we tried and intervene in that so we can assist with that. Just want to go into the numbers. For the financial year 2024, we had about 12 students who were funded on the bursary, 6 interns, of which they are here, and probably we can then, during tea break, we can interact with them. Then the TVET in-service training, we had 6 for the financial year 2024, and now they have went back to campus to finish their diplomas. We have seen success in this, and several students have graduated with PhDs and masters. And those who are interested, please encourage those students. They can go into the agrimanage.co.za website for them to apply. With socio-economic, that pillar, we try, our aim is to see living standards improving in grain, mainly in grain-producing areas, because the levy is being contributed by grain-producing farmers. Then we try and focus in those grain. Our main focus has been on water supply and sanitation. We also do food gardens and small-scale grain production. I will share on the sanitation. We recently had a project, as you can see on those pictures, to try. It's a project which is mainly driven by Rotary. It's on dignity toilets, and we try and eradicate pit latrine toilets. We are also involved in the subsistence small-scale maize production in collaboration with OSC, and I think we had appreciated that we are in collaboration, but we definitely need them to start. We had funded with them together a soybean production, which also included the value addition training for these farmers to be able to add value. My closing remarks, as my time is up, we continue to seek out partners and collaborators to join us in this important endeavor. We are committed to ensuring that all initiatives are guided by real needs, supported by data, and executed with meticulous care. By that, we're saying to those who contribute to the levy, we appreciate, and development is a necessary space, but also we are not just doing it, not being conscious. We are really spending your money with care, and we are spending it on reputable service providers, and those that are not servicing us, we will definitely cut the ties if need be. Thank you.